Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm presenting on a classic of magic called the Jumping Peg. Over the years it's been known by many different names and titles. I used to call it, for years I called it the Dempsey Paddle. And the reason I called it the Dempsey Paddle was because George Dempsey gave me my first one. He showed it to me. No one, I'd never seen it before. George showed it to me. This particular paddle is the one that George Dempsey actually presented me with. Now, it's been modified. When George gave it to me, he had stickers in the place of where I have colored in the holes. He had stickers. Over the years, I mean, he gave me this thing in the early 1980s. So it was quite old. The stickers wore off and fell off. But this is the one he gave me, and I will never, ever give this thing up. It's, by the way, it's two popsicle sticks that he glued together and then sanded and fashioned into this shape. So, you know, he used to make these things for the guys that would join Assembly 6 of the Society of American Magicians. But he gave this to me, and it was precious, and I fell in love with the trick, you know. And I've made different ones over the years. This one is a Joe Porper version. It's made out of metal, and you'll notice that there are only three. There are only three holes as opposed to 5. I really prefer the 5, and when you see the demonstration, I think you'll know why. This is the one that I'm using today. Again, it's handmade, it's sloppy looking, but hey, it's a cool effect. So let me just do this. Let me show you the effect right now, and then we'll come back, we'll talk about it some more. So take a look. Okay, so this is the Jumping Peg, folks. This is the one a little bit closer up that George made for me many years ago. Again, he took two popsicle sticks and glued those together. This is the Joe Porper version. It's metal and it's kind of heavy, which makes it a little bit awkward, but it's professionally engineered and it's very nice. This is one that I made, fashioned it out of a piece of wood. So the way this works is quite simple. Take a toothpick, place the toothpick down through. You could use any one. You could use the black or the blue or whichever, but I choose the middle one. Chase it down through the white. You see it comes out the white on this side. Now watch. Here's the way it jumps. Give it a little bit of flick, just like that, and it jumps to the yellow hole. Now if I pull it out of the yellow hole, place it down through the white again, you can see that it passes down through there like that. It comes down through the white on this side, comes through the white on this side. Again with another flick, it jumps to the red hole. Now I think that is fascinating. George showed this to me many years ago. I've been doing it ever since. I love it. Hope you do too. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Again, I call it the Dempsey Paddle. But the actual name of the thing is the Jumping Peg. Now let me share something with you. This book is Magical Legacy by Gene Gordon. If you watch this channel, you probably know who Gene Gordon is. He's one of the founders of the Society of American Magicians. He was a great magician. He was a close friend and associate of Hen Fetch. He was a professional magician for many decades, and then later in his life he opened a magic shop where he distributed many of the Hen Fetch inventions. But he wrote this book called Magical Legacy. The first half of the book is his biography. And it is just, you know what? I love magic biographies. You pick them up, you can't put them down. I collect magic biographies. The second part of the book is his presentation for some classic effects and some of the things that he did over the years. And of course he had a very long life in magic, so he has a lot to share about magic. So you will get a great biography in the front of this book, and in the latter part of the book you'll get some fantastic presentations for classic effects and maybe some effects that you've never seen before. But in the context of his biography, he's talking about he's a child. Now, he was born in 1903, and he's describing something that happened to him when he was a child. So this probably took place around 1910. So if you're looking for an origin to this particular effect, it goes back at least to 1910. Now bear in mind that he's purchasing something from a mail order magic dealer. So this is a dealer item in 1910. There is a reference to something very similar to this in the discovery of witchcraft, which was published in the 16th century. So this effect could well be centuries old. But let me share with you this story. I think it's amusing. In another catalog, I saw a trick advertised for 10 cents. I figured that wasn't taking as much of a chance as 15 cents, so I sent for the jumping pig. I knew, of course, that it wouldn't be a live pig, but I thought it sounded like a colorful effect. It turned out to be a misprint in the catalog. The trick was really the jumping peg. 3 holes in a paddle. 3 holes very similar to the Joe Porper version right here. And by the way, most, in fact, all that I've seen, all the marketed versions of this effect have 3 holes and not 5. I do prefer 5. I think that the illusion's stronger. But that's just my opinion. So 3 holes in a paddle with a peg or toothpick placed in one of them. You did the paddle move and the peg appeared to jump from one hole to the other. After such a second disappointment, I decided to give up magic. And this happens so much. People buy an effect. They might see the effect first, or they might read about it, and so they buy it. And when they discover the secret, they're so disappointed that they're disillusioned, and it discourages them in the magical arts. Folks, so many effects in magic are based on a very simple principle. And once you learn the principle, if you're not familiar with it, you're like, oh, that is so stupid. But it's not stupid. It's how you present the thing. It's how it's perceived. Magic happens in the mind of the audience. It doesn't happen here. It happens in the mind of the audience. If you present it that way as a magical event, it's received as a magical event. But let me go on. So he's so disillusioned, he's so disappointed in the jumping peg that he's going to give up magic altogether. Now he's a child. You know, the children do this. They get in, they get out. After such a second disappointment, I decided to give up magic until I did the trick. Until I did the trick. And it fooled the kid I showed it to. So then I decided to continue my career. And he went on to be a professional magician for decades and then run one of the most successful magic businesses in the world for the latter part of his life. Gene Gordon, folks. So anyway, that is the jumping peg. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to comment down below. And please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you next time.